Welcome to NarrativeNook where enchanted stories come to life. If you enjoy our stories, please subscribe, like and share to support our channel. Enjoy listening.
I made a trip to Carol's place, sprayed luminol in the living room and backyard, and caught a hint of fluorescence. You mean someone was hurt? Is it severe? Clark knew what luminol was, and his heart clenched at the thought. We're not sure whose blood it is yet. We'll need to run some tests. Arabella explained. I sprayed the luminol, and swabbed some of the glowing dirt and dust with a cotton swab. We'll have the results soon. Also, I found strands of hair in both Carol's and her parents' rooms. There were also nail clippings under the sofa and in corners. I've collected them all. The nails and hair could be used for DNA extraction, but it might not be successful if too much time had passed. Once the blood test results were back, they could compare the DNA to see if the blood was theirs. If it was, it meant that they had been injured at home, with the living room being the primary crime scene and the backyard the secondary. But if it wasn't? Clark's heart clenched tightly. How did Carol's parents get wrapped up in this? What else was hidden behind this situation? Oh right, boss, here are the hairs from the people inside. Jack handed Arabella a few transparent small bags, and there were also traces of blood. How many did you pluck? Arabella took the bag. Blood and hair could be used for DNA testing. The blood found in Carol's living room and backyard could also possibly belong to the 4 people inside. Arabella then took out another transparent bag from her backpack. Inside was just a bit of powder. If they didn't look closely, they might think the bag was empty. What's this? Clark asked again. This was found in the vitamin C bottle in Carol's room. Jack was a little puzzled. Isn't vitamin C usually in pill form? Why is it powdered? This isn't vitamin C. Arabella explained, then looked at Clark. One of the components in this powder is ether bloom. Ether bloom? Now, Clark couldn't keep his cool. His heart felt like it was being squeezed. The pain was unbearable. What the heck is ether bloom? Jack, who had been by the boss's side for many years, had never heard of it. But it didn't seem like a good thing judging from Clark's reaction. Clark knew that ether bloom was a potent poison. You're saying that Carol ingested poison? Is she possibly gone? Not necessarily. Arabella spoke softly. Ether bloom can also be used in medicine. It depends on what the other components are. Clark, don't worry too much. Jack, take Clark to rest for a bit. I'm heading to the lab. Right. Jack gestured. Clark, this way please. Clark didn't know how he managed to walk into the main building. It was luxurious, just as fancy as the Reflections villa, but he had no heart to appreciate the decor and trinkets. All he could think about was what his sister had said. Jack came out in a change of clothes, carrying an assortment of food and drinks. Clark, have something to eat first, or maybe a cup of coffee. I'm telling you, this coffee is usually only for our boss. No one else gets to enjoy it. Jack sniffed the aroma of the coffee in the air. It was so fragrant. Clark slumped on the couch, lost in a sea of despair. Had it not been for Bella's intervention, he would still be oblivious to the danger Carol was in. How many hidden truths were lurking behind this predicament? Clark, drink up, will you? Jack offered him a glass, speaking earnestly. Solitary contemplation won't solve anything. Once we get the results from the tests, everything will be clear. No, it won't be that simple. Clark felt as though he had led Bella into a foggy maze with no clear direction in sight. The exit seemed so far away. Clark, when did you become such a pessimist? Jack insisted, nudging the glass closer. Clark accepted the drink, but his heart wasn't in it. It's not pessimism. It was the reality of their situation, the mounting evidence that offered no reason for optimism. Where was Carol? Was she safe? No one could answer him. Don't worry. With our boss on the case, there's no mystery she can't solve. Ever the optimist, Jack downed a swig of water from his bottle. But how did Bella know that those guys would go to Carol's house today? Clark's gaze fell on Jack. You wouldn't know this. Our boss found several hidden cameras and bugs in Carol's house. Oh sorry, I meant Mrs. Clark's house and took them all down. Those who planted the devices would naturally be anxious and send people to check. So, Bella set a trap there alone. Clark was suddenly struck by his sister's bravery. She had risked her life, all to uncover the truth for him. She's a fool, knowing full well that taking down the cameras and bugs would draw them in, yet she used herself as bait. And she didn't even ask for backup. His heart was a mix of appreciation, guilt, and worry. What if something happened to her? Don't worry. Our boss is one of the best. There are few in the world who could match her skills. If we were there, we would only get in her way. Jack grabbed a bag of chips from the table and munched on a few before continuing. Besides, she took all necessary precautions. She installed surveillance, recorded the fight, and even released a sleep-inducing scent. Jack painted a vivid picture. That scent is potent. Anyone who inhales it will pass out within 5 minutes. But those guys were tough. They held out for 7 minutes. That's a clear indication of their superior physical condition. One of them even managed to escape after inhaling it. You said Bella installed surveillance and recorded the fight? Clark interjected hastily. Where's the footage? I want to see it. You should ask the boss for it. Jack hesitated. If Bella found out that he had shown Clark the footage without her permission, she would have his head. You said Bella fought them. I don't know if she got hurt in the process. She wouldn't show me the footage because she doesn't want me to worry. Clark, it's not that, it's more that I don't want to lose my job. If he could, he would spill everything. You mentioned earlier that those guys were tough. So Bella's skills are superior? Clark queried. On this point, Jack was honest, nodding his head. Our boss is indeed very skilled. She can handle a few thugs with ease. Who taught her? She's so young, yet she could subdue 4 strong men. You should ask the boss about that. Seeing that Jack was unwilling to disclose much, Clark finally relented. All right, then add me on WhatsApp. Sure thing. Jack, seeing that Clark wasn't pressing further, readily displayed his QR code. After Clark added him as a friend, he even sent him a friendly GIF. Jack opened it and exclaimed, Jesus, Clark, I didn't know you were into this. This woman's got some curves. The GIF featured a sultry woman blowing a kiss, both innocent and suggestive. Jack found it quite intriguing. Meanwhile, Clark had managed to hack into Jack's phone and access the surveillance footage. He saw a group of men, their faces concealed by black masks, burst into Carol's living room with swift and ruthless precision. Then, his sister locked the door, leaving her alone to face them. Carol? You are traitor, finally showing your face. Today's the day you die. They mistook his sister for Carol, intending to kill her with their ruthless tactics. Clark's heart clenched with anxiety. His sister was facing danger alone. What if something happened? You're not Carol? Who are you? Seeing them alternately brandishing knives and guns, wanting to kill this girl, Clark felt his heart in his throat. Thankfully, his sister was more skilled than they were. Otherwise, the consequences would be unthinkable. Despite the flurry of bullets aimed at his sister, she managed to dodge them all perfectly, even launching a counterattack. Her skills and her reaction speed left Clark utterly astounded. Realizing they were at a disadvantage, the group decided to retreat. One of the men threw a smoke grenade, but even in the dense smoke, his sister could locate them by sound, binding up the ones who hadn't managed to escape through the window. Can you tell which organization these guys are from by their moves? Clark asked Jack, who was still beside him. Jack, who had been drooling over the woman in the GIF, was startled when he saw the video playing on Clark's phone. Damn, how did you get this video? You hacked into my phone? When did that happen? Don't worry, I only extracted this video. He didn't look at anything else that wasn't necessary. You're a hacker too? Jack suddenly realized. What's with you, Collins? How come you all have so many skills? He'd been careless. He completely didn't realize the GIF with the woman had a virus. I'm not sure if the guy who got away will go back and tip them off. Bella could be in danger. Clark said, worried. You guys need to keep an eye on her in secret. Of course, as her brother, he would also always be by her side, ensuring she didn't get hurt. You might think that the video looks dangerous with all the gunfire, but let me tell you, our boss can handle this like it's a walk in the park. You didn't see it before, but when dozens of guns were pointed at our boss, she managed to escape unscathed. What do you mean? Clark seemed to understand something. What exactly did Bella go through before? Nothing, I was just rambling. Jack wished he could slap himself. Why couldn't he keep his mouth shut? What's going on? Why were there dozens of guns pointed at Bella? Did Bella upset some gangsters or what? Clark was really anxious and wanted to know the reason. Clark, I beg you, pretending you didn't hear anything. Jack pleaded, his hands clasped together in prayer. Whatever you want to know, ask our boss later when the time is right. Just don't say it came from me now, or I'm done for. Clark didn't want to put him in a tough spot, so he simply said, whatever you tell me, I swear it stays with me. I won't breathe a word to Bella. Clark, some things even Romeo doesn't know. Spare me, play dumb, I beg you. If the boss found out he blabbed again, he'd surely be transferred to the triangular zone, and then he wouldn't be able to protect the boss all the time. With all these weaklings around, he had to be the one to protect the boss personally at critical times. Just then, Arabella appeared. What are you guys talking about? Seeing Jack clasping his hands and begging for something, Arabella was puzzled. What are you begging Clark for? The boss is here. Jack felt doomed and quickly made up an excuse. Well, Clark wanted to set me up with someone, this beautiful lady. He flashed a picture he had taken earlier. I was just begging Clark for her contact info. Arabella was a bit speechless. In a time like this, he was still thinking about such things. She coldly said, get lost. Yes, yes. Jack breathed a sigh of relief, thankful that the boss didn't suspect anything. The comparison results are in. The blood traces in the living room, and the yard match that of Mr. and Mrs. Earwood. The moment Arabella stopped talking, Clark's attention shifted. You mean Carol's parents got hurt? Yes. Arabella explained. A villager mentioned that a few months ago, around 2 or 3 in the morning, a group of people went to Carol's house. Despite the rain, they were walking around in the yard. They were probably looking for Carol, accidentally startled her parents, and they got injured in the ensuing argument. Arabella paused, then continued her analysis. The villager said that for 4 or 5 days after the group appeared, the Earwood's door never opened. Judging by the blood traces, the incident happened in the living room and then moved to the yard. So, I guess, during those days, the injured Mr. and Mrs. Earwood might have been taken away by that group. We don't know where they went and what they did. Based on the villager's statement, Mr. and Mrs. Earwood returned only after 4 or 5 days, and soon after, they went out to look for Carol. So, their disappearance that night is the key to solving this mystery. Did the powder get tested? Clark asked, his mood heavy. Arabella just mentioned that one of the ingredients in the powder was ether bloom, which was extremely toxic. Besides ether bloom, there are 16 other herbs. Each one is toxic. What about when they're combined? The toxicity increases. Arabella said casually, one of the lab rats just died. It took the poison and died instantly. There wasn't even time to save it. Clark's heart clenched. You're saying Carol might have taken this poison? She's been missing for a year. Was she forced to take this lethal poison and then dumped? So, all these powers couldn't find her. Because she's no longer in this world. Thinking about this, Clark felt a pain in his chest that nearly suffocated him. Not necessarily. Arabella analyzed, what if she used this poison on someone else? What do you mean? Clark didn't understand. Considering how many people are looking for her, this poison might be her self-defense mechanism. To keep it hidden, she put it in a vitamin C bottle. That bottle looks old, and she must have used it for a long time. Boss, according to your theory, Mrs. Clark would have to poison a ton of people with this. Arabella gave him a look, and Jack immediately shut up. Carol is physically weak. It's possible that this poison might really be for her self-defense. Aside from drugging, did she have any other means of protecting herself? She was so frail, there couldn't be. Not necessarily. Arabella overturned his assumption again. Didn't those 4 guys inside say Carol was a traitor? If Carol was one of them, then her skills could conceivably be on par with theirs. That didn't seem to align with her being as weak as a kitten. Whether she had skills or not, and how good those skills were, would need further investigation. No, it can't be. Clark recalled his previous interactions with Carol, and there was no indication that she was a skilled individual. She was probably afraid of even cockroaches. We can only continue to investigate. Arabella checked the time. Clark, it's getting late, it's almost 11, let's head home. It was late. Their parents would be worried. Mom and Dad have already called me a few times, and I don't know if they called you. Clark checked his phone. Not a single call. Worrying about it now won't help, let's go. Seeing his sister had been busy all day, Clark didn't want to trouble her anymore. He nodded and drove her home. On the way, Clark heard a rumbling sound from his sister's stomach. He realized something. Bella, are you hungry? Did you have dinner? I had. Arabella lied. Her stomach rumbled again. Clark glanced at her. Still lying to me. Did you skip meals today to catch those guys? I had lunch. So you skipped dinner. Clark felt guilty. You silly girl, I will be worried. You have to take care of your health first. I'm not hungry. Just as Arabella finished speaking, her stomach rumbled in protest again. Clark felt both distressed and amused. What do you want to eat? I'm also hungry. Shall we grab some late-night snacks on the way home? Okay. Arabella thought momentarily and blurted out, let's get some pastries. It was so late. Better avoid anything spicy. There were other things to take care of later, so it wouldn't be good if she upset her stomach. Alright, I know a place that makes amazing pastries. They specialize in late-night snacks. We can buy a bunch to take home. Okay. Reflections Villa. Serena checked the time, and it was already 11:30. Why hadn't Clark returned yet? There was no sign of him downstairs. She sat at her vanity, waiting impatiently. She was eager to know where Clark and Arabella had gone. Why were they taking so long? It wasn't until she heard the sound of a sports car outside the villa that she looked out the window. Sure enough, it was Clark's car. Clark was finally back. That Arabella, monopolizing Clark until so late. Was she afraid that if they returned earlier, Clark would have time to accompany her? Sweetheart, thank goodness you're back. Where did that Clark take you this time? Louisa, sitting on the couch, quickly got up to greet Arabella as she walked in. When she had called and messaged her earlier, she hadn't gotten any response for a while. Louisa was worried something had happened to her daughter. Clark and I just went out. I didn't check my phone, Arabella explained softly. As long as you're safe, Louisa said before turning to Clark. Young man, look at the time. You can't just keep your sister out late. If you want to party, that's one thing, but a young lady should get her beauty sleep. Can't you keep track of time? It was my idea to go out, Arabella defended. It wasn't Clark's fault. Louisa turned back to Clark. You see, your sister defends you, even after she asked you out to bond. You better treat her right. Clark, carrying bags of late-night snacks, just smiled. Got it, Mom. I brought food, let's eat. I can't, and I've been doing yoga with Romeo's mom, trying to lose weight. Then I should support my wife. You two enjoy. Kenneth led her upstairs, advising, don't worry too much about the kids. They're just out having fun and brought some food back. Let's head upstairs. I had a bad feeling. I thought something happened to them. Clark brought the snacks to the kitchen. The servants arranged everything onto 11 large plates. Serena, who had been waiting upstairs for a while, came down when Clark didn't show up. She found them in the dining area. Clark was just serving Arabella some tarts, mumbling, eat more. Clark, Bella, you're back? Serena hid her jealousy behind a bright smile. So much food. Can anyone join? Serena? Come, join us. I brought a lot. He got up to pull a chair out for her and got her utensils. Serena shot a glance at Arabella. So she not only snatched Clark but also brought these trophies to show off? Cunning girl. Serena, eat up. Clark served her a few tarts, then turned to Arabella. How is it? Arabella nodded. It's good. Eat more then. Clark put more on her plate. He felt a pang of sympathy when he remembered how she had been busy all day. These are good too. Try them. He added more to her plate. Serena's eyes flashed with displeasure. Clark had only served her 4, but he had given Arabella 7. Clark, you should eat while it's hot, Arabella advised. I'm not hungry. Clark felt guilty and served her some more food, including crispy sausage. He even got her a piece of beef sausage as well, worrying she might not be complete. Arabella had been hungry all day, yet she had spent hours in the laboratory. If he hadn't heard her stomach growling, would she have gone without eating tonight? Clark, this is for you. Arabella picked up one and put it onto Clark's plate. Clark felt touched but also more guilty. Eat more, I'm not hungry. Mid-meal, Arabella suddenly remembered she'd forgotten to call Romeo. She took out her phone and sent him a message. I'm home now. Go to sleep early. Good night. Within seconds, Romeo replied, You're going to sleep? Yes. I see you're enjoying your meal. Arabella looked up at the message. Clark, did you tell Romeo we're having a midnight snack? Yeah, he asked if we were home, and I said we were, having a late-night snack. And you sent him my photo? Yep. Clark showed her the picture. Look at you all chubby from eating, so cute. So, you lied about going to bed just to have a midnight snack with Clark? Romeo texted with a sad emoji. All Arabella could reply was, I'll go to bed right after I shower. Are you tired today? Yeah, a bit. Serena noticed Arabella constantly typing. Oh, that attitude, as if she wanted to make it clear that she was chatting with Romeo. What she was showing off. She even purposely mentioned Romeo's name, as if she was announcing to the world that she was chatting with Romeo. After a while, Arabella finished her snack and stood up. I'm full. Serena thought she finally had a chance to be alone with Clark. Her eyes lit up, but before she could express her joy, Bella, wait. Clark hadn't finished eating yet, but seeing his sister getting up, he quickly stood up too. I'm done too. I'll walk you upstairs. Arabella was a bit puzzled. Serena didn't expect Clark to be so clingy to Arabella and suddenly felt unhappy. I forgot to ask you a question earlier. After leaving the dining area and making sure no one was around, Clark whispered, You said your skills were taught by those old men. Are they masters in their fields? Yep. Arabella nodded, not understanding why Clark suddenly asked this question. So, your fighting skills were also taught by one of them? Arabella immediately reacted, Did Jack tell you something? No, he didn't say anything. I hacked into his phone and saw the video of you fighting with those guys. Now, it made sense to Arabella. That big mouth, he must have told Clark about her installing surveillance at Carol's house. Otherwise, how would Clark know there were surveillance videos in his phone and even hack into it to see? So, the picture of the beautiful woman that Clark sent to Jack was not to introduce him to a girl but to a virus. Just to hack his phone. Bella, when was your gang established? Clark asked again. Did Jack also mention the gang? Right now, Arabella just wanted to wring his neck. Jack didn't really say anything. It's just that I saw those guys calling you boss and they all had weapons. Clark couldn't help but ask, I don't want to pry into your past. He just wants to know if you're safe now. Do you need more people to protect you? No need. Arabella smiled slightly. Don't worry, Clark, I'm doing just fine. So, what does your gang do? Well, we protect the weak and also some medicinal plants. After all, in the Triangular Zone, she owned a mountain of priceless medicinal herbs. The mountain was covered in rare medicinal plants that couldn't be bought even if they had money in the world. Are you serious? Clark asked, half skeptical and half hopeful. Yes. Arabella nodded earnestly, her young face full of sincerity. Clark seemed to breathe a sigh of relief. Did you recognize the affiliation of the guys who attacked us tonight? Arabella shook her head. Couldn't tell. They were all deadly and ruthless, and their backgrounds were hard to discern. Clark nodded. I'm glad you can handle yourself. At least you can defend yourself when things get dangerous. But you risked your life today, using yourself as bait. You have no idea how worried I was when they pulled out their guns. From now on, let me know if anything comes up. I may not be as skilled as you, but I can at least arrange for more people to help you. Arabella knew that Clark meant well and was worried about her. So she nodded obediently. I understand, Clark. You must be tired from today. Rest up early. Clark patted her head. You should also rest early, Clark. Don't stay up all night on the balcony anymore. Clark was touched when he heard this, and he hadn't expected his sister to know about his sleepless nights. All right, I promise you. After taking a shower and attending to some personal matters, Arabella finally went to bed around 1 in the morning. The next morning, as she was having breakfast, she noticed the servants glancing at her with something like hesitation in their eyes. It was as if something had happened that she didn't know about. What happened? Arabella asked. Nothing. Tell me. Arabella put down her fork and leaned back in her chair, exuding an aura of authority. One of the servants timidly started, Miss Bella, you called Clark out last night, and this upset Serena. Serena threw a huge tantrum. Arabella was puzzled and raised an eyebrow. What does my calling Clark have to do with her? Clark had promised her that he would go shopping with her. They were already in the garage, about to get in the car when your call came. Clark then left in a hurry. Arabella hadn't expected such a coincidence. Seeing the servants' unsettled expressions, she asked, did she give you guys a hard time? No, she took it out on Edith. She thought Edith had tipped you off. Serena smashed the flowers Edith had for you. The vase shattered. Arabella caught the main point. Flowers for me? Yes, Edith said she had a cold for many days that wouldn't go away. It was your medicine that finally cured her. So she's been wanting to repay this kindness. On her day off, she saw a flower shop while she was shopping and spent $30 to buy you a bouquet. When she got home, she even asked us for advice on how to arrange them. She was about to bring them to your room when Serena stopped her. Arabella understood. Where is Serena now? Miss Bella, please don't confront Serena. She'll know we've been gossiping. She's already planning to fire us. Miss Bella, please don't go to her. We beg you. The servants were terrified, pleading desperately with Arabella. Don't worry, I know what I'm doing. I won't get you guys into trouble. After finishing her breakfast, Arabella left the room, leaving the servants worriedly whispering among themselves, fearing for their jobs. Arabella first found Edith, handing her a small bottle. Edith, you have not been looking well lately. This will help rejuvenate you. Take one a week. Miss Bella? Your medicine must be expensive. I can't accept this. Edith knew Arabella was highly skilled in medicine and that anything she gave would be high quality. Just take it, don't be shy. Arabella placed it in her hand, didn't mention the cost, nor did she mention Serena. Instead, she said, if you ever run into trouble at home, you can come to me for help. Miss Bella. Edith wondered if Arabella knew something. But Arabella changed the subject. Are Mom and Dad awake yet? Not yet. What about Clark? He's still in his room. Arabella nodded. Don't overwork yourself. If you're not feeling well, make sure to take a break. Thank you, Miss Bella. Edith was still in a daze even after Arabella had left. The other servants noticed and hurried over. Edith, what did Miss Bella give you this time? Will your skin glow if you take it? I always have acne. The last time I asked Miss Bella for help, she gave me a small bottle of effervescent tablets. After taking them a few days, my acne scars were gone. I usually feel dizzy when I stand up after squatting for a while. Miss Bella gave me a dozen scented tea to make tea with. I haven't experienced any dizziness since. I didn't know how to dress well. But seeing Miss Bella always looking stylish and beautiful, I asked her for advice. She taught me about color coordination and even gifted me a few sets of QY clothes. QY. She just gave them to me. The servants couldn't stop praising Arabella. Miss Bella is the nicest rich young lady I've ever met. She's not pretentious. She's straightforward and doesn't beat around the bush. Unlike some people who smile elegantly on the surface but are incredibly dark on the inside. I like Miss Bella because it's comfortable being around her. Serena, who was about to go downstairs, clenched her fists upon hearing this. Damn that Arabella, she really knew how to win people over. I knew it. So that's why some of you don't respect Serena. You've all been bought over. Martha, helping Serena downstairs, made sure to raise her voice as she sarcastically said, Serena, it turned out you didn't pay enough. That's why people are sabotaging you. Miss Bella didn't buy us. We went to ask Miss Bella for advice on our own. It has nothing to do with Miss Bella. The servants were getting flustered. However, Martha didn't listen to their explanations. Instead, she said, listen to yourselves, all defending her. She gave you some cheap trinkets, and you're all won over. No wonder you all say it's comfortable being around her. People who gave gifts are nice, but since Serena didn't give any, some of you are implying that she's dark inside. The servants became even more flustered. No, we didn't mean that. All right, everyone, go back to work. After Edith spoke, the servants gave her a grateful look before hurrying off to their tasks. Martha's gaze fell upon Edith, then at the small bottle in her hand, her tone dripping with disdain. Such a miserly gift, Serena wouldn't even dare to present such a thing, yet you all treat it like a priceless treasure. Yes, even if Miss Bella gave me a blade of grass, I'd still be thrilled. I'd also treat it like a precious gem. Edith was deeply moved by Miss Bella's gesture today, feeling more confident than ever. If you're not pleased, go ahead and complain to Mrs. Collins. Martha's expression darkened, visibly upset. Miss Bella noticed that I've been looking pale recently and kindly gave me a medicine bottle. Yet you can't stand it, thinking I've been bribed, wanting to kick me out of the Collins family. Go ahead and tell her. Let's see if Mrs. Collins will even care about your words. Martha hadn't expected the usually meek Edith to suddenly become so sharp-tongued. So, you have someone backing you up now, feeling all high and mighty? Yes, I have Miss Bella supporting me. What about it? Do you have a problem with that? Take it up with her. Edith turned to Martha again. Over the years, hasn't Serena given you plenty of gifts? You've accepted them for 18 years, and I've only accepted 2. If anyone should be kicked out, it should be you first. What can you do other than use your power to bully others? Edith, you're crossing the line. Despite everything, Martha was like a second mother to me, and she's been with me since I was a child, more like family to me. You need to apologize to her right now. With Serena backing her, Martha looked even more confident, her nose in the air as she stared down at Edith. I didn't do anything wrong. Why should I apologize? Now, none of you even respect me? Fine, I'm very dissatisfied with your service. I want you to leave this house immediately. I'll explain the situation to my parents. Please pack up your things and leave right now. Upon hearing this, Edith grew even more furious. The person who paid my wages is Mrs. Collins. Unless they ask me to leave, no one can force me to take a single step out of this house. Serena was clearly infuriated. This maid was too arrogant. You wretch, how dare you disrespect Serena? Debbie Daisy, why are you just standing there? Go and seize her. Martha rolled up her sleeves and advanced towards Edith. Today, I'm going to teach this insolent old woman a lesson on behalf of Serena. Debbie and Daisy, being Martha's allies, quickly responded and grabbed hold of Edith's hands. Unable to break free, Edith looked up, anger in her eyes. Are you all lawless now? Mrs. Collins was still there. Even if someone needs to be taught a lesson, it certainly wouldn't be your place to do so. Martha raised her hand, about to slap her. I'd like to see who dare to hit her. A cold voice echoed from behind them. Everyone turned to look and saw Arabella returning from the garden, her face icy cold. Debbie and Daisy, frightened by Arabella's imposing aura, quietly let go of Edith. Miss Bella, you came at just the right time. Martha, upon seeing Arabella, showed no fear but an air of arrogance. This old woman has been bullying your sister. Shouldn't you do something? Since when did it become your place to tell me what to do in my own home? Arabella didn't even spare her a glance. Get lost. Martha was immediately filled with indignation. Edith, you might go back to your work. As soon as Arabella finished speaking, Serena interjected, No, sister, she can't leave. Today, she was rude to Martha and defied me. If we just let her go, won't all the servants think they can walk all over us in the future?
Thank you for listening. If you have enjoyed this story, please like and share so others can see it too. Also hit the subscription button and notification bell so you can be notified on our next release. Thank you for your support. God bless you.